Hello, I'm VX and welcome back to the video. So whenever I was in school doodling around on a piece of paper, one of the things I would always do is like doodle something to do with the game I was playing at the time, whether it was like weird type weakness charts from Pokemon or happened to be. I always liked writing down stuff that will then help me remember stuff in video games, because game is way more important than school, right? But one of the things that I realized about Minecraft recently is that there are so many ways that this same philosophy can really help you out by having like a physical notebook or like a sticky note or something like that to write down certain bits about your Minecraft world on. So I figured with today's video, why not talk about 5 ways that having a notebook can actually help improve your Minecraft game, and that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. Like the video if you do, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let's know you do like this sort of video. But with that said, let's get straight into it, and let's start the very first way that a notebook or something physical can help you play Minecraft is to help you remember passwords and combination locks and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, here's the first example over here. As you can see, it's a combination lock to open this door. It's a pretty fancy one if you ask me. It was built by Legendary Potato. It's nice stuff, but as you can see, it's a combination lock that requires you to know the exact number to actually turn this on. If you try to just do random levers, you might get there eventually, but it'll take you hours and hours and hours, and if you want to know exactly how to do this yourself, you're going to need to remember the number. But remembering a 5-digit number is really tricky, but if you write it down, you just have to look down at it and say, oh, it's 1, and then it's 5, and then it's 6, it looks like, and then 7 and 9. So you type in those 5, and boom, suddenly just like that, you open the door and you're magically through it. However, if you try to just remember that off your top of your head, like 1, 5, 6, 7, 9, or even if you remember the colors, like, oh yeah, it's red, green, and then dark, it's just impossible to do, as opposed to writing it down and being able to easily get in and out of your village, in this particular case, with very little effort involved. It's really cool stuff, and that's one particular use of it. You can also write down a password if you have, password protected locks on something, because, again, fun fact in Minecraft is you can set, poppers to only accept a very particular item with a very particular name. So here's a name tag. It doesn't work unless we type in our password, which, as you can see right there, big long is a sequence of random letters right there. And if you get that in, it will go in there, and it will activate your door, for instance. This is a very just rudimentary example, but remembering that password is very tricky because it's just a long sequence of letters. I mean, I think it's German actually, but it's a long sequence of letters that's going to be hard to remember unless you happen, to actually be able to write it down. And then if you ever need to write a new key, or you need to remember which one it is, then all you have to do is look down at your piece of paper and realize that, oh, it's Alf Weidish or whatever it is, then 7. Pretty cool way to write down any password or password-based lock. The second way you can use a piece of paper to like physically help remember stuff is as a replacement map, because when you look at a map, right now, let me tell you 3 locations of 3 things in this world. There's an ocean monument, there's a desert village, and there is a, well, you can see the desert village, but there's a desert village and there's a giant bed. Where can you tell where any of those 3 things are? Because I would not be able to. I can tell you there's a lava pit, I can tell you there's a giant jungle, it looks like, in the center, but everything else is slightly beyond me. So also there's a snow biome in the top right. So that's why I think, having your own map on physical paper is a really handy way to give yourself the little edge in your world and remember where stuff is if you have a very filled up world, which if you watch Seed Sunday, you might just do. So yeah, in this particular case, we can find out that our village is found just over at 338, and then 359, which is just over here if I'm not mistaken. So 338, 359, okay, found the village. The giant bed is found at 265, 274, and oh, there it is. We can actually see it in person. And yeah, if you just remember where these locations are on a piece of paper, that way if you you go in and out of a world and you haven't been in there in months, you don't have to just be like, oh, well, it looks like I've lost everything, isn't life bad? And because that's not a very fun way to do things. So the third way you can actually use I guess a piece of paper or a notebook or whatever it is. Again, I just picture a notebook because that's what I'd always have again in school when I was like doodling random stuff about Pokemon and whatnot. But yeah, basically the fourth way you can use this sort of stuff is to work out where your stronghold is, because if you just have a piece of paper nearby, all you need is 2 Eye of Enders, and you can find the stronghold or the rough location of the stronghold every single time. So if you're curious as to what I mean by that, let me show you what I mean. So let's fire 1 ender pearl right now. Let's fire it and see where, oh, it goes sideways. Let's fire an ender pearl and see where it goes. It goes directly straight, which is weird actually, but it goes directly straight from X305, Z317. So we'll draw that down, a little diagram right here. So 305 is like 150 away from the world. We're doing this live, by the way, so you'll see what it looks like afterwards. A directly straight line. So you might think, okay, straight line, not too useful, because it could be anywhere along that. But then all we need is 1 other ender pearl throw. Let's throw it from, even if we need to throw it really close to this first one, which isn't a good idea, but let's just throw 1 more ender pearl from just over here. And then we can use these 2 kind of like lines, because, this isn't going to go straight, it's going to go some amount, probably to the right actually. So we'll fire it like that, and you're going to see it goes straight, but it goes about 2 or 3 blocks to the right. So we then use that information together, so we can then draw a line that goes very subtly curved, and you'll know that the intersection point will be like, again, this is like, I think this is maths, I think it's studied a lot in America, but like, graph maths, like seeing where the 2 points intersect, because all you have to then do is work out, if this is going 2 blocks to the right for every 16, then if it goes 800 blocks across, then that means it's going to be going 100 blocks up, and that means that the eventual crossing of the line, because, okay, so I've drawn it on a piece of paper, I tore it a little bit, but that means the eventual crossing of the line, because we went about 80 blocks this way, should be, let's call it, again, I'm doing the improvised math because my diagram's a little weird there, but it should be somewhere just over the halfway point, and about, so along the 305 line, and somewhere along the halfway point, I should be able to find the strongholds. We'll go to x equals 0, and then a little bit further than that, let's call it like 50 or 100, and if we just dig down from straight over there, we should be able to find it. So, yeah, x minus 100, and then we'll stay at 305, or yeah, I think it was 305, and if we dig down straight from here, we should find the stronghold. If we don't find the stronghold, we should be very close to it, because wait, is that the stronghold? No, that's lava, but because, this is the, okay, we actually did find it, that's pretty cool, because all you need to do to find your stronghold is know roughly where those 2 IF enders are intersecting, and having a piece of paper with a physical graph is a good way to do that. So you'll see on my little physical graph, it's not exact coordinates, but you'll see roughly the point where the 2 lines intersect, which is very, roughly where the stronghold was. And even if this was wrong, even if I dug down, let's call it like 100 blocks this way or 50 blocks that way, and I didn't get the stronghold, I would be very close, and I'd be in the right area to mine around for it. So, yeah, how do you find the stronghold with just 2 IF enders? All you need to do, so if I mined over here, for instance, I wouldn't, I find the stronghold here too. Well, it turns out I was pretty lucky in this particular case, but, sometimes you won't find the stronghold just for being close to right, but then all you need to do is, I guess you could just, like, look around the local area, or you could fire one more IF ender, the 3rd IF ender, and it will tell you that, it looks like the actual, kind of found it thing is just over there. So, yeah, that is how you can find your stronghold using a piece of paper and just 2 IF enders as opposed to the 10, 20 everyone else uses. And it's a really handy little tip that a lot of people don't know and don't necessarily use all the time. And I really do quite like it because it's an opportunity to use maths and, knowledge and paper to help you beat the dragon faster, or whatever that is. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the 4th way that, so let's go back into survival. The 4th way that, having a piece of paper can help you, and that is to actually remember where you've physically hidden stuff. So, admittedly, the problem with hiding stuff usually isn't the location, it's like someone finding it, but in this case, we've got a really subtly hidden chest because it's under a tree in a random untouched biome. Like, it's one of these trees over here, but rather than chopping down every tree and, like, making it kind of obvious what you're doing, why not just remember the exact coordinates and write them down on a piece of paper? So here it says, under acacia tree, 325, 319. Is it this one here? Yeah, 325 would be here, and 319, I think, would be the exact tree. So that means if we chop down this tree, then we can find our secret chest with all our belongings. And if you do it in this particular way, leave stuff out in the open, but just in a way that you need to have exact coordinates for, then you can hide your diamonds or your, your dirt or whatever it happens to be just by putting it in there, which I think is pretty darn handy if you ask me. So yeah, how do you hide your stuff in the open? Using a notebook and writing down the location. Anyway, what's the final thing you can use a notebook to help you out with? And again, it kind of goes back to the thing I was talking about at the start, where like, you remember the type charts and stuff like that from various games. You remember which things are weak to wit, because in Minecraft, one of the things that always gets me in particular is remembering very weird recipes or remembering how certain stuff goes together. So for instance, water and lava make obsidian, but only if you do one than the other. And I always forget which it is, even though I just wrote it down, I've kind of forgotten. So what I do is I look at my piece of paper and it says water, then lava in big caps. And I'm like, of course it's water then lava, because then you place your water, you place your lava, and you get obsidian. You don't have to waste the two, you don't have to waste time, and that's kind of handy like that. But you can also use it for something like, how do I find diamonds? Y equals 11 is for diamonds. Or, even if you've got something more complex, like, okay, you need to craft end crystals, because that's your thing. So, I've got the automatic crafting on. You want to craft end crystals because that's your thing, but you have classic crafting on because you like classic crafting, which honestly, I do most of the time. I guess I turned off for a video. Yeah, if you want to do that, then you're like, okay, so the end crystal is something like this, maybe? So you place your blocks round, and then you place an IF ender in the center. You realize it's wrong, and you have to work out why. Well, it turns out there's actually, a tier there, which we will place like this, and suddenly, boom, we've got ourselves a end crystal like that. And there's just a whole bunch of uses, what I'm saying here, for, like writing stuff down, and just random knowledge is one of the biggest ones that perhaps you should consider. But yeah, hopefully this video did all inspire you in some way. Maybe it taught you the trick of the eye vendor, because that is one of my favourite things to teach in Minecraft. Maybe it taught you anything else, or maybe you just want to doodle about cats and a picture of Steve or something in your notebook or whatever. Whatever it is this video inspired you to do, I hope it did. Like the video if you did like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Lets YouTube know the video was good in some way or another. Share the video if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and, oh wait, I can place this on the obsidian. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.